We've always thought that the year 2020 will be a great one. A new decade that is said to have plenty of opportunities to make a difference in our personal lives. Everyone is expecting the new decade to be full of change, a shift, or revamp that will make the world we live in better. We never anticipated a global pandemic that would nearly destroy the economy and healthcare workforce down to its very knees.
Domestic air and domestic sea travel to and from Metro Manila shall be suspended beginning March 15, 2020 and to end on April 14, 2020.
Kapamilya, sinilalim ni Pangulong Duterte ang buong National Capital Region sa community quarantine dahil sa COVID-19.
Ang barangay-wide, city o municipality-wide at maging provincial-wide quarantine.
I have come to the conclusion that stricter measures are necessary. Whereas as President under the Constitution, I am placing the entire mainland of Luzon under quarantine until April 12, 2020.
The President has put the entire Luzon under what the palace calls an enhanced community quarantine. All right, so let's talk about this. What exactly does an enhanced community quarantine mean?
No, or total lockdown.
When the news broke out, it was already too late. Half-baked safety measures were put in place in order to establish a level control. Active cases were not reported immediately to warn the citizens of the threat it may impose. So, what is COVID-19? This virus is called the severe acute respiratory syndrome related coronavirus 2. Which causes the disease COVID-19, or most commonly referred to as coronavirus. Its main way of spreading is through the air or by coughing, or being touched by someone who's ill. Its primary targets are the intestines, the spleen, and most importantly are the lungs. Once it reaches a cell in your body and injects the genetic material into the cell, then it executes copy and reassemble like any other cell would do. The cell dies, then releases new particles inside the body to attack more cells. After 10 days, the body's whole immune system will be attacked. Symptoms may include fever and dry cough, which are the most common. If the immune system is overwhelmed and passes through the blood and body, death is very likely.
Pinky, magandang tanghali, no? Tahimik sa ngayon yung sitwasyon dito sa checkpoint sa boundary ng Muntinlupa at ng Laguna, kung saan itong dalawang area na ito, Pinky, ay bahagi nga nitong NCR plus bubble. Kung yung makita sa aking likuran, ano? Tuloy-tuloy lang yung pagbiyahe ng mga sasakyan, meron lang konting build.
Protocol sa tinatawag na NCR plus bubble. Una po muna pakipaliwanag lang po sa amin itong konsepto ng NCR plus bubble. Ano po ba ang mga pwedeng gawin? Ano yung hindi?
In-expand natin ngayon itong NCR at sinama natin itong mga probinsya na nasa paligid nitong NCR. That's kagaya ng Bulacan, ng Cavite, ng Laguna at Rizal.
All of these problems we are facing right now can be solved through 5 actions. Tip number 1. Wash your hands frequently and carefully. Wet your hands with cold or warm running water, then apply soap to your hands. Scrub for at least 20 seconds. Work the lather to your wrist, between your fingers, and under your fingernails to make sure that there aren't any germs left. Use antibacterial soap as it breaks down the layer of fat that the coronavirus is encased in. Use hand sanitizer when you cannot wash your hands properly. Once you touch an object, it is best to disinfect your hands as soon as possible. Tip number 2. Avoid touching your face. SARS-CoV can live on some surfaces for up to 72 hours. You can get the virus on your hands if you touch surfaces like gas pump handle, your phone, a doorknob, escalator handles, or public use pens. If you're out and about and can't avoid touching potentially contaminated surfaces, then be cautious of not touching a part of your face. You never know which surfaces you've touched contain viral particles. Tip number 3. Avoid physical contact as much as possible. If lockdown measures go down to the point where people can go out and about visiting public places to run errands or for recreational purposes, you must avoid physical contact at all costs. If you're running an errand to the grocery store, distance yourself from others while inside the market. Yes, these people were checked with thermal scanners right from the entrance. But it's never wrong to at least distance yourself as much as possible. Tip number 4. Use face mask and face shield properly. Both of these are essentials in the day-to-day if you're outside. This reduces the risk of you being infected and infecting those who are around you. The mask should cover your nose, mouth, and chin without gaps above, below, or on the sides. Face shields provide a high-level protection for the wearer and shouldn't act as a makeshift headband. Tip number 5. Stay at home. Our best course of action to fight this virus while the vaccines are rolling out for public use is to stay at home as much as possible. Relegate tasks or errands to those who are old enough to go outside to avoid the risk of everyone being infected at the same time. If there are only select people who can go outside your homes, the easier to isolate the one who is infected. Thank you for listening. Wear a mask and stay safe.